Good evening YouTube, Will here to talk to you about all things music, specifically album and discography reviews. Please do remember to subscribe to the channel, please do like the content, and of course please do comment. Let me know how I can make these videos better for you as the viewer, and of course let me know if there are any albums or discographies you want me specifically to review. I am open to all possibilities. Right then, so today I'm going to be just doing something a little bit different. As you've seen from my previous content, I'll be doing album discographies from bands that have had a major label debut, being big artists in their own right, whether it be the Foo Fighters, Guns N' Roses, Massive Attack, Black Sabbath at the beginning. I've been going through these big artists who've got these seminal albums, these major deals, and have most likely been either arena bands, if not hit the stadium level at some point in their career, or maybe still to this day. Today I'm going to be doing actually an unsigned artist. A chap called Charlie Smith on Facebook reached out to me. He's got an album out on SoundCloud. He's also got an EP as well, which I'm going to be doing today. Asked me just to give my thoughts and opinions on the music to help kind of promote him. I am more than happy to do this kind of thing. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a hard rock or heavy metal band. I mean, Charlie, on the corner of SoundCloud, considers himself both an indie rock, alt rock, indie pop kind of guy, and based on the music I've listened to, absolutely that is definitely the case. So I'm going to go through his EP Munched. It's 3 songs, so it's going to be a short video. Give my opinions on each song and then give me a bit of an overall ranking as well. So let's get straight into it then. Munched came out in 2019 according to SoundCloud. 3 tracks, like I said. Track 1 is called Isn't Selfish, Isn't Pride. My thoughts on this particular one, it was kind of reminiscent to a bit of a acoustic Nirvana. I don't mean Nirvana MTV Unplugged, just like when they did one of the recordings, it had that kind of same kind of sound to the song Polly from Nevermind. It has that kind of very simple kind of Kurt Cobain kind of sound of just vocal and guitar. And that's what Charlie's doing on this. It's very much that kind of sort of basis. It's got quite a nice transition from the kind of verse to kind of the chorus, so it sounds like a bit of a pre-chorus before it goes back into the verse. It's a very nice kind of acoustic one. It has that kind of like just kind of continuing kind of driving kind of sound within its chords. It doesn't particularly drop, doesn't particularly stop. There's no major changes in it. Short track, only 1 minute and 10 seconds. Sounds pretty cool. I mean, I don't mind a bit of acoustic. I am more of an electric guitar kind of guy, but as an acoustic kind of track of this nature, particularly within the genre that Charlie's kind of go for, I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's pretty decent. It's not a bad way to kind of start this EP. I quite like the kind of slightly demo-y kind of feel to it. Obviously, unsigned artists don't have the access to major recording studios the same way Guns N' Roses or Metallica does. But that doesn't mean they can't make great sound and great music, particularly with the technology. It sounds very much like an unsigned artist is recording this, which isn't a bad thing considering all those factors. So yeah, 6 out of 10 for Isn't Selfish, Isn't Pride. It's actually not my favourite of the 3 tracks that I'm going to be going through, but it's pretty decent. Track 2 was Point of View. This was actually probably my favourite in an odd way, even though it's actually kind of has this very kind of dream poppy, kind of monotonous, kind of churning kind of sound. It's an electric guitar, but it's got a nice big kind of, I think, like a chorus and a bit of a reverb effect, so that kind of gives this kind of big wash. It actually reminds me a little bit of a clean Sonic Youth riff, really, that kind of pushes you through. It very much kind of like that opening to Teenage Riot with Daydream Nation in terms of the guitar on it. And then you got Charlie then kind of providing his vocals on top. I should say at this point, Charlie's actually a pretty good singer. He hasn't got the major ranges of Bruce Dickinson, but he's not aiming for that either. He's very much aware of what he can do as a vocalist and is using it to the best of his ability and using it very well. This track was actually pretty cool. Like I said, it's actually my favourite one, so I give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's definitely a very good track. It's got a lot of promise. 2.5 minutes, so I feel like it's actually something, though, my only real critique I would say is that it needs to have something more happening to it. I feel like there should be a bit more to this track, really. Obviously, this is what you're going for, Charlie, then fair play to you, but I feel like it was kind of meant to be going somewhere. That's my only real kind of critique of this song. But like I said, I actually really enjoyed it for what it was. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10 for Point of View. And then track 3 is called Cat Food. Cat Food sounds a bit more diverse than the other 2. There's a bit more of a distinctive kind of difference between the verse and the chorus on this one. Definitely much more of an indie rock kind of more influenced one. I can't really think of any bands off the top of my head that really kind of go to it, but it's that kind of more indie kind of 2000s indie kind of sound versus say like the Smiths. It's definitely the second best, the middle one of the 3, so I'd probably give it a 6.75 out of 10. Again, this one's only a very short one, only a minute and a half long. in sound, so maybe that's probably why it's kind of middle. I've noticed I've kind of favoured the longer tracks to the shorter ones on here. But again, I kind of like the other two. It just felt like something more was going to happen. You know, see, in my point of view, could have gone on somewhere, but I think it's still really good and it has a fair bit of promise to it. My critique with this one was the mix. I found Charlie's vocals to be a little bit lower than the guitar, and so you kind of get lost into what the lyrics are trying to be, what he's trying to go with. I don't know whether that was the intention, of course, but you know, that's the kind of feeling I had from it. But you know, like I said, it's actually a pretty cool track. 6.75 out of 10 is quite respectable, you know, considering the content of this. Overall, I give Munched a probably solid, you know, 6.5 out of 10. Again, you know, it's definitely feels like a bit of an underground EP, you know, which is pretty cool. It's definitely far from terrible. You know, like I said, my main sort of critique really is that I feel like the songs are kind of unfinished. That's probably what I'm trying to say, really. The songs felt a bit unfinished. Again, if that's the intention, then great, you know, but I feel like something more could have been happening. But overall, I thought it's actually pretty good. It's very, very influenced. You can tell the influence here is 90s alt rock, you know, with a little bit of that indie kind of flair thrown in. It's very somber in style. You know, you know, it's not particularly very uplifting, happy kind of sound. But then again, a lot of 90s music was very much like that. So if it's actually influenced, then it obviously just makes sense why it kind of sounds in that nature. 6.5 out of 10 for Munched. I thought it was pretty cool, particularly from an unsigned artist, you know, who's trying to break it. Charlie, if you're ever playing in anywhere sort of between Cardiff and Bristol, once COVID-19 is over, do let me know. I'll definitely come down and check you out to see what you have to do. And you know, who knows? Maybe I'm a guitar player. I might be able to do a collaboration with you on something at some point. That'd be pretty sick. Right, thank you for watching, guys. Short video because it's a very short EP just to do. Like I said, do remember just like and subscribe to the stuff. Any other unsigned artists out there who want me to check out the stuff, let me know. I'll be happy to do a review. And yeah, once again, thank you for watching.